Next, could you explain who your character is and what our class is about? I think I just did that. What was your process like for writing your memoir? My memoir, White Hot Grief Parade, really began as my blog, London Still, and slowly but surely the passages became much more focused around the main event of my father passing away. White Hot Grief Parade really barreled out of me after the 10th anniversary of my father's death. The first draft I think I wrote in about 9 or 10 weeks, and slowly but surely, between the ages of 28 and 34, I really edited it and came to terms with it. I made myself the promise that I wouldn't publish anything that wasn't fully emotionally processed, because I didn't want to, first of all, it's not particularly smart to create art about unprocessed material. And second, I knew that I would probably be entering communities speaking about grief, and I wanted to make sure that I was in the healthiest place possible to do that. But I do have a writing practice that I sort of stick to in a very committed way. It's as sort of disciplined as my exercise and singing practice. So it's just a certain amount of commitment of time and devoted hours per week that I stick to pretty regularly. Next question. Are there any musical theater composers whose work you have not done yet but would like to try one day? I feel very fortunate to have played the gamut of musical theater composers. I think the answer I'd probably say is I'm sure that there are composers out there that I have not yet heard of whose work I would love to work on. I love working on new writing. And it's always a joy. I've really enjoyed, though, of course, I love working on classics. And I think in the contemporary canon, my favorite composers are Michael John LaChiusa and Andrew Lippa. I have never performed in a production of anything written by Adam Gettle, but I would love to. But yeah, I think that's the answer to that. Do you have a favorite opera and a fave musical theater moment that has stood out to you? In recent memory, my favorite moment from an opera was in the opera The Hours that I saw at the Metropolitan Opera last summer. And even though it had 3 absolutely staggeringly beautiful central female roles and performances by the women playing them, the moment that stood out to me was the American baritone who sang I Wanted to Make Something Good, who played the boyfriend who was dying of AIDS. The aria is actually available online. It's really worth a watch, and was just one of the most beautiful, truthful moments I've seen in an operatic setting in many, many years. Favorite musical theater moment? Nothing in contemporary memory is coming to me, but I think sort of canonically one of my favorite musical theater moments is in the original live capture production of Into the Woods, when Cinderella and Little Red Riding Hood are speaking during No One Is Alone. Little Red Riding Hood says, "I wish," and Cinderella replies, "I know." That's my favorite moment in musical theater. What was it like getting to sing If I Loved You with Tally Sessions in concert? It was very important, I think, to both of us. We had both played the roles in different settings. Tally had played it in Washington, D.C. in a regional contract. I have done carousel several times. Most notably, I did a 16-month contract in the West End in London in 2008 and 9, and again in Los Angeles in 2010. I think I've sung Julie Jordan close to 700 times. But it was a very significant moment. We were both giving back to a company that has given a lot to us and has meant a great deal to us, the Transport Group. And it was just very, very special. Tally and I are very, very good friends, and it was just one of the most extraordinary instances of platonic intimacy, where your heart and soul are open to somebody that is a scene partner and also a friend. It was just very, very special, and I think probably the greatest, still even the greatest scene in musical theater. I couldn't believe we did all 11 and a half minutes with a full orchestra. It's pretty spectacular. How is Tati, and can you show her doing a trick and giving her a treat? I cannot show her doing a trick because she does no tricks, and I can't show her doing a treat, giving her a treat because she's on a diet, but I can show you Tati. Here she is, the queen herself, and we wish you a very happy and healthy summer, and thanks for saying hello.